Welcome to Bishop Aquatics. Today I'm going to give you the 5 tips, the 5 ways to successfully raise guppies. Follow these 5 tips and you're going to have no issue with your fish, or at least less issues with your fish. We're going to go not in reverse order. We're going to start with number 1. Number 1, you want to raise successful guppies, start with good fish. Do not go to the big box store and buy your guppies. You're going to start off with failure. They're probably diseased. They're probably stressed. I don't even like to use the probably. They are diseased. They are stressed. And they are not of a good quality stock. Don't buy. This is part 1B. Don't buy imported fish. Don't go to your big auction sites and buy fish that come directly from the Far East, like Thailand or Vietnam, like we do. Yes, you're going to get some nice fish, but they are extremely hard to raise. Guys, if you're starting off raising guppies, don't try to start off in the professional levels. We lose a lot of fish. We talk about that. Sometimes we have to buy $300, $400, $500 worth of fish to get a single pair to mate. Don't start off on the professional level. Find a good breeder, like us, haha, or a good breeder at a fish club, or even on the big auction sites. Find breeders and buy their fish. They have good stocks. In a previous lifetime, we raised dogs. We did AKC dog shows and did that type of thing. There's a huge difference, guys, between an AKC show dog and the stuff that you buy, well, from the pet store. Start with good stock. That is the number 1 issue. You start with a good fish, and you've started off on the right foot. There is no other way to start. Start with good fish. You want good success, start with good fish. Okay, hint number 2. Whatever fish you get, do day 1 medication. That is imperative. You need to start off with good medication the very moment you get your fish. Okay, guys. Here's the fish medications you need to do from day 1. First of all, as an antibiotic, you need to get Maricin. Okay? That provides relief from bacterial infections. 1 scoop per 10 gallons. The scoop is included. Follow the directions, but we do 1 scoop per 10 gallons and leave it in the tank at minimum of 5 days. That's step 1. Step 2. Paracleanse. This kills the parasitic diseases, both internal and external. Same directions. 1 scoop, 10 gallons, 5 days. All at the same time. Step 3. This is somewhat optional, but it is also an antibiotic and hits a slightly different set of fish. ICX. Follow the directions. We use the pond in ICX because obviously we have ponds of fish. So the directions on here don't make the same sense, but follow the directions on your bottle. All these products and this treatment is designed by Aquarium Co-op. Go to their site, look up on their YouTube on the exact treatment of day 1 of any fish you bring in. Now, speaking of any fish you bring in, quarantine your fish. Do not put new fish in an established tank of other fish. You need a separate tank. Do this 5-day treatment. 1 good treatment, and you will not have problems very likely the rest of the time. So step 2, treat your fish that you get from us or your local aquarium store, the big box store, any breeder, anybody you buy from. Do this treatment. It's necessary. It's mandatory. You want healthy fish, start from day one of cleansing the parasites and cleansing any internal infections. Okay? So step 2, medicate. Day 1. Okay, guys. Step 3, plant live plants in your tank. Not 1 or 2. You want a healthy tank, make a jungle. Look at here's how we recommend. See how this is a 55-gallon tank with our blue moss cows. You'll notice the top layer, pearlweed, a thick layer of pearlweed. This has a hiding ground for babies, and it pulls an incredible amount of your nitrates and stuff out of your water. It cleanses your water. On top of your floating plants, we have heavy root feeders. Heavy root feeders would be Amazon swords, wisteria. There's an assortment of really quality, heavy feeding root plants. These plants feed on all the debris that falls through your gravel. We have 60 tanks. All of our tanks are just choked as a jungle full of plants. Why is that? Because the plants cleanse the water. It's a cycle of the fish waste, the nitrate cycle. The integral part is the plants. Without the plants, you're not going to have a healthy aquarium. You're not going to have healthy aquarium water. Without healthy aquarium water, you're not going to have healthy fish, because your nitrates are always going to be fluctuating. The ammonia cycle is dependent on plants, and it's not 1 or 2 decorative plants. You need a tank full of beautiful aquarium plants that pull in nitrates. That is important. Step number 3, let's continue with water. Water changes are mandatory, okay? They're mandatory. Do not skip water changes. We change our water 2 to 3 times a week, 25 to 30%. It's imperative to water changes. It keeps the parameters in a consistent manner, guys. Okay? Now let's continue talking about water. We don't need to test pH because I find so many mistakes in freshwater aquarium keeping. You guys think this is salt water where you have to continually add chemicals. You're making it difficult on yourselves. Very difficult, because you're taking the water up, you're taking the water down, you're putting these chemicals in to raise the pH, you're putting these chemicals in to lower the pH. You're adding this, you're adding that, and the fish are just being inundated with chemicals. Don't do it. Your fish will adapt to your local water. We get fish raised in Thailand, completely different water sources than what's raised in Arizona. Or we get fish raised in Thailand at a completely different water source that's in Colorado Springs, which is soft water. Okay? Fish will adapt. Yes, we do lose fish to start with, but as they adapt, let me give you a secret. The second generation is going to like your water. And by the third generation, that's it. Your water is their water. So why do you continue to spend all this money? Test strips, and you test the pH, and you test this, and you test that. Yes, there is a need, there is a place for that. I'm not completely discounting testing your water. But if you are going to change your water, use it naturally. If you got soft water and you want to add, some hardness, add some crushed gravel. Some crushed coral. That's fine. But your fish will adapt to your water quality. Guys, we raise thousands and thousands and thousands of guppies. We don't check the pH every day. It varies day to day, tank to tank. As different fish have different stock loads, and the pH is going to differ from tank to tank and day to day. You do the water changes, and this all equals out, guys. It all equals out. I mean, we have fans that evaporate water at a rapid rate to keep the water cool. We change the water, it levels it out. And fish are much more hard. A lot of you guys are trying to keep your fish in an ideal situation. I mean, I hear it and see it all the time. Well, what's the perfect temperature? Well, you know, our guppies live in degrees of 60 degrees is the low, and the water goes up to 86 at times. And you know what? We don't lose fish. Isn't that amazing? From 60 to 85. Now, yes, we do recommend, 72 to 80, 82. But the guppies are going to survive. And they breed in 60 and they breed in 85. They survive in both extremes. And sometimes the extremes in the streams, in the native streams. When it rains, the water gets cold. When the water is dry, the water gets hot and stagnant. It's amazing the fish survive in the nature. You baby the fish too much, and they're like a fat kid baby, that's just fed perfect conditions. They don't have the strength to endure when something goes wrong. Our fish are very strong and hardy because they do have a little bit of more of stressful conditions, more like nature. It's a natural way of raising fish. Okay? That's step number 3. What I'm saying about the water is don't play the numbers game, guys. Don't worry about the dissolved solids. Don't worry about the pH. Keep your water consistently with your tap water and save yourself a lot of trouble. That's step number 4. Now the final step is step number 5, and that is food. Use a variety of good quality foods. That is imperative. Live baby brine shrimp, quality flake food, quality pellets, quality frozen food. Guys, food is important. If you just throw a few flakes on the top of the surface of the tanks, that's what you're going to get. Again, when you raise show dogs, you don't feed them the cheapest food on the market. You buy a good quality food. Fish are the same way. You want healthy quality fish. Buy a good quality food. Start off with baby brine shrimp. Go to these top companies and buy good quality food. Give them frozen food, frozen brine shrimp, frozen bloodworms in a limited amount, freeze-dried foods like freeze-dried tubiflex, pellet food. There's a lot of good quality food out there. We've done several tapes and demos and shown you everything from our fry food to our adult food that we use. But do a variety of food, of good quality food. That's step number 5. With these 5 steps, guys, you'll raise fish like we do successfully, without disease, without stress, and without stressing yourselves. Make this hobby fun. Don't stress over numbers. Don't stress over other issues that are just not required, guys. Raise your fish naturally. A natural environment is a healthy environment, guys. Plenty of plants, plenty of water changes, good fish to start with, and good medicines, the right medicines. And you won't need any more medicines after the first time if you do these other 4 steps, guys. And good quality food is number 5. Do these things and you guys will have healthy fish, just like what you're seeing right here, guys. Quality fish, easy to raise, no stress. Thanks for watching. This is bishopaquatics.com.